Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I'm super excited to be bringing you this video. I actually found some testimonies that I want to share with you guys and to speak about. So I am excited for this one. So the channel itself, let me scroll down a second. This is the channel. I cannot pronounce it because I can't even speak the English language very well sometimes, so I'm sorry. But check them out. So I wanted to talk about this one because a lot of people have been speaking out, especially on TikTok and YouTube and different places that I've been seeing, where they're talking about their going back to Christ after being a part of the LGBTQ community and stuff like that. So I want to highlight this one just because, like, some of the things that she's saying, it is really going to hit home with a lot of people. And I just want you guys to listen with open ears and an open mind and open eyes, just to, I'm not going to show you the whole thing, so I will link this video below, all the credit to this channel, because the De La Fey testimonies, however it's pronounced, I'm sorry if I butchered it, I am so sorry. But I want to give them all the credit because this is a amazing testimony that I think a lot of people need to see. So we're going to get started. The introduction part is what really got me, and I really need you guys to see this. So let's get back into it. We're going to hit play.
Anything that I had ever did, or every wrong against me, or everything, literally my whole life, from when I was born to the age of 21. As he goes, he crushes every single crystal, and it all turns to dust on his table. And I'm just like, whoa. And I'm not scared, but I'm just like, I could just feel the power and the glory, like just the light in him. And he reaches his hand out to me, and he's just like this. And I'm like, okay. Dad, I grew up with two brothers, and it was great. I actually had a pretty dope childhood, honestly. We would go on adventures and stuff like that. We all played sports, so we would always be somewhere else on the weekends or whatever. But growing up, we also had the obligation of being at church, so we would go to church on Sundays and just sit there and not know what's going on. It was like an hour obligation. And so I always knew the parts of, like, the little, like, services where I would be like, all right, I know after the communion, like, it's only like 5 minutes and then we could dip because I'm ready to go home. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't like this. But I always heard about God there. Never at home. My dad was, like, Mormon. I think I think he was Mormon. My mom was just a non-practicing Catholic woman. So I never grew up with, like, a praying mom or, like, a praying dad or, like, a praying family.
So that's extremely important, and I stopped really soon, I'm sorry. But that is so very important to grow up with, like, a praying mom and dad. And a lot of the times I've noticed, which if you are Catholic or Mormon and it's different, let me know. But those that I know that I've had experiences with, a lot of the Catholics and Mormons are not really prayer-filled people. They go to church and do the things that they're supposed to do and then live their lives how they want to. So a prayer-filled childhood is a very important childhood. I can say that my childhood was very full of prayer, full of love in that way, and love for the Bible and for scriptures. And one day I'm going to kind of do my testimony and speak out as well, but I'm going to share other testimonies as well. And the reason I'm doing that is because not everybody's testimony is going to link up with somebody else, but I believe that somebody's testimony will help lead somebody to Christ or lead somebody back to Christ.
Just more blue collar. We go to work, or they go to work. I go to school. I'm playing sports. I'm having fun. I have a lot of friends. So growing up was pretty actually fun. Like I didn't have a traumatizing childhood. I had a pretty fun childhood. Met a lot of people through sports, through a lot of teams. I've been a lot of places, a lot of states.
So, Kirsten, what was it like growing up without the foundation of God and even having your dad not in the house all the time?
I want to say now that it could have shaped me into a whole different person. But not knowing and being ignorant, I didn't have any other choice. I didn't know. I feel like it could have been pivotal in my life, honestly, to learn about God, to learn about Jesus. It could have steered me into a whole different direction that I actually went in. My dad not being in the home, I feel like it really made me kind of reject and resent men because I didn't get what I needed from a father. I didn't get the correct love. I got things, like material things. I got new shoes, new clothes for school, and I got new material things. I got money for the weekend to go with my friends, but I never got that listening father, like that father that was like, we're going to pray, or we're just going to do something. We're going to instill certain things in you. It was always just, I'm going to give you this and that's it. But he was also abusive too. So it was like, whenever I did see him, it was more of him laying his hands on me because I wasn't doing this or I wasn't doing that. So I always resented him and I always had an attitude towards him because I'm like, well, you're never here. How are you going to tell me I'm doing wrong? So growing up, even as a teenager, teenagers, I hate my parents and blah, 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 blah. I was like that. But I didn't have the privilege of having a great relationship with my dad, and he later then passed away.
So this part just really, I can't even describe the feelings of sadness and wanting to hug this girl after she said this part, because I can't imagine the hurt and the pain. I just can't. I can't.
Unforgiving of him and resentful to him because I was like, you didn't give me what I needed when I needed it. You really could have steered my life in a whole different way. And I've had to deal with that unforgiveness, and the Lord has helped me. But to not have a father is hard, especially as a girl, because it's like, what do I look for a man? How do I love a man? How is a man supposed to love me? So even the little boys at school, really, it hurt, but it was like, we all go through that. We're bullied. It's like kids are mean. Who cares? They don't know who they are either. But to get that at home first and then go out and be confident and be me no matter what, it really scared me. So I made this persona out of numbness, out of lack. And it hurt really bad. So then to see him laying in a casket at the age of 16, it's already broken. It's already, don't know what's going on. That hit me deep. That led me into so many other things. Just the hit that my family took, seeing my mom not want to get out of bed or just traumatized me. It traumatized me. It gives me chills because it felt like emptiness in our home, emptiness in our relationships, emptiness just in us. And so I remember actually one night, right after my dad had passed, I think it was only a few days, that I walked out of my room and I walked upstairs. All the lights are off. Everybody's in their room. And I was just like, dang, it just felt so empty. It literally felt like it was cold. And I went to go hug my mom, and she just was just broken, just empty. So I went to go hug her and just ask if she was okay. I was like, I don't know what this looks like for us. I don't know where we're supposed to go from here. But, I love you, and I don't want to lose you either. So I went back downstairs, and I realized that this is where lesbianism and my coping was in women. So I texted this girl, and I was like, hey, can you come over? I'm really struggling right now. I just want somebody to just lay with me. And this breaks me so much. She came over, I let her in through the back door, whatever. She was in my bed, and my mom comes to the door, and she just knocks, and she's like, hey, can I come lay with you? And I was like, I have somebody in my bed. I'm sorry. And it was I just chose that. like over comforting my mom, like helping her when I knew that she was low. But I was like, I don't know, like this is awkward in the first place. This is weird. I'm trying to cope in my way and she's trying to come to me. It really hurt. But I feel like I took that and it just created a wound that I just lived from. I just lived from it. So it invited like smoking weed, just trying to feel anything that I could just to feel better. So I went through that year, the last year of high school, just busy. I played basketball and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try to just forget this, do anything to forget this. So I'm just going to go do what I need to do, finish what I need to finish. And I just picked a random college. And they were like, hey, we like the way you play basketball, come. And I was like, okay. And I went because I was like, I feel like I'm depressed, but I don't really know what's going on. I don't know. I've never been depressed before. I've always been happy and joyful and loud and all of it. So I go to college. I went in with a girlfriend because obviously like that is like my identity now. People can look at me and literally say, oh yeah, she's gay. And I was okay with that because I shut down that old version of me actually liking men a long time ago. Went into college with a girlfriend. I ended up cheating on her. I had sex with another girl. And that just kept continuing. So I got into a relationship with this girl, which was honestly traumatizing. It was toxic. It was codependent. I relied on her for a lot of things, which I really shouldn't have. And I was honestly breaking. I was depressed. I had anxiety. I was having panic attacks. And I was controlling and manipulative and just a bad person. I was an ugly person living from this wound because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if it was from not grieving my dad or what it was, like not actually living like for myself, like I was trapped.
Now, Kirsten, were the people around you encouraging of this lifestyle? Was anyone seeing this darkness you were in, or was everyone seeing kind of something different?
Oh, everybody was seeing who I was on the outside, whether it was like, oh, yeah, she's cute or whatever. Nobody saw what was actually happening inside until I actually asked for help from a therapist when I got to college because I couldn't take it anymore. I felt like I was suicidal. I was just like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to feel like this anymore. But nobody was around me that was like telling me, hey, like this is wrong, or nobody was telling me about Jesus. Like I realized that everything that I was searching for wasn't Jesus, but I just didn't know. So I went through pivotal just darkness for like the first 2 or 3 years of college, and I really was suicidal mostly the whole time. I stayed because I was just like, I don't want to die, but I don't want to feel like this. So I had a lot of gay friends. I'm having sex. I'm addicted to sex. I'm addicted to masturbation. I'm addicted to weed, alcohol, all you can think of, literally like outlets, like there's symptoms of something is going on, but I can't put words to it. But I'm hurting so bad. But I'm expected to show up and be a good student. I'm still expected to show up and be a good teammate and still be like this great student athlete. But I was like, man, my grades are going down. I don't even want to play basketball anymore because I just can't even get out of bed. Like, I don't want to be around anybody. I can't even get up to go to class. It was dark. I actually wanted to drop out of college. My mom was like, you're not going anywhere. And I was like, okay, I'm going to finish it. Like, you're paying some? All right. But it wasn't until I went home after college, I graduated, and I was addicted to weed, addicted to porn, addicted to women, addicted to sex, just anything to literally get out of this feeling. Until actually I had a dream. In the dream, I'm in an interrogation room, and I'm with Jesus on the other side. And he lays out in front of me these 7 crystals, and I'm just looking at them. But I'm not scared, but I know it's Jesus. Like, I'm just like, I never saw Jesus. I never knew who he was, but I knew that was him on the other side. So I'm just like, but just like the power in him knowing me, I just knew that he could see right through me, like he knew everything about me. And he laid these 7 crystals right in front of me. And it was everything that I had ever felt, anything that I had ever did, or every wrong against me, or everything, literally my whole life from when I was born to the age of 21. I'm just looking at him, he's looking at me, and I'm just looking at these crystals, and I'm just seeing my whole entire life, which is like a sham to me, because I'm like, I didn't want to end up like this. I didn't want to do any of this stuff. I didn't want to hurt the people that I hurt. I didn't want to damage a lot of people's lives or pull people into this lifestyle. And I'm just looking at all these things, and I'm like, oh my God, my life has been full of pain from this point. A lot of emotional pain, which was covered up by physical things. As he goes, he crushes every single crystal, and it all turns to dust on his table. And I'm just like, whoa, like what the heck? And then the dream's over. I wake up, and I was like, I just had a dream with God in it. Like I didn't ever even remember my dreams before that. I would usually just get high just to go to sleep or drink just to go to sleep. Like, what just happened to me? So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, he just knew everything that I ever did. Like, that was literally my whole life in front of me. And I'm like, yo, what the heck? So I went upstairs, and I went to the bathroom, and I closed my eyes, and I'm back into the dream. And so I'm back into the interrogation room. He's looking at me, and I'm looking at him. And I'm not scared, but I'm just like, I could just feel the power and the glory, like just the light in him. And he reaches his hand out to me, and he's just like this. And I'm like, okay. And I just grab his hand, and then I in the dream, or like I guess the vision at this point is over. And so whenever I like open my eyes, my hand is up in the air like this, and then I just start crying. But I was like a cry from the soul. Like everything was just, I was being freed. Like it was like, oh my God, I was just crying. Like I was just in awe and just like just undone in this bathroom. And so I get up. I'm like, oh my God. But I didn't give my life to Christ then because I didn't know what to do. I had this encounter and I knew God touched me, but I was like, I don't know what to do. So I walked out the bathroom and I was like, I feel different though. Like I always felt different, but I couldn't put words to it. So I'm still in the world at this point. I'm still looking to like not feel what I'm feeling, you know? So like I was just suicidal the day before. Like what's going on? Why am I like, I'm light. Like I'm different. Like I'm like, okay, I'm going to get my life together. So I'm like, I'm going to do a routine. I'm going to have a routine. I'm going to have workouts to do. I'm just going to try to get my mind right. Everything that I knew that I could do, you know, and I'm getting advice from my mom. And so she's like, well, you could do this, you could do that, you could eat better, you know. I'm like, okay, amen. So I'm getting in therapy at this point, and I'm like, all right, I want to get my life together. I'm tired of living like that. I'm tired of like just being depressed every single day, just trying to have a warm body just to make me feel better, just to stimulate me, even though I know my soul is crying out for much more. I just don't know what can really satisfy me. I'm still back in the world. So I'm with my friends. We're going out. We're clubbing still. We're still drinking. We're still smoking. But I'm like, this is different. Like, I'm tired of this. Like, I'm getting tired of this life. And so one day, I was actually high. I literally smoked every single day from the time I woke up to the time I went to sleep. And I had another encounter with God. And so I put on like some worship music because I was listening to more because I was like, I want to know more of God. Like, I don't know, but I have this urge. Like, I have this yearning to know him. I put on this vibe, like this worship music. And I was like, man, I was crying because I felt the presence of God when I was high. It was like my high just went away. I'm basking in the presence of God and I'm crying. And I'm like, oh my God, I done did all these drugs. I done smoked all this weed. I drank all I could drink just to feel this. This is what I was looking for, but I didn't know what this really was. So I'm sitting in the presence of God, I'm crying, and I feel this thing on my heart. It's like my heart was being patched up. And I was like, oh, but I couldn't move. I was just stuck in the presence of God. And I'm just bawling and bawling, but I know like something is touching my chest, like I'm being stitched up. And I'm like, oh my God. So then from there, I'm doing like daily devotionals and things to know more God. Cause I'm like, what do? I didn't even have a Bible. I didn't have nobody telling me like, oh, we can go to this church or nothing. I learned from God himself. So I'm doing these devotionals. I'm waking up early in the morning just to feel, I want to feel this thing, right? Because I'm moving in the realm of emotions. I'm in the realm of feeling. So I'm like, I want to feel that again. So God is like showing up every single day. He's showing up every morning, but he's showing me things that I need to heal from, which is we really started with the death of my father. Everything that had just come from that. And we didn't start with my sexuality first. He was like, no, just let me love you back to life. Let me love you. Like, let me give you grace. Like, this is what I have done for you. So he's telling me Jesus died for me. Like, and I'm just like, wow. So like through Jesus, like I'm learning like the basics of the gospel, right? I'm like, wow, so Jesus died for my sins so that I could have life, but I died with him so then I could, like, I'm just like, wow, this is really crazy. This is really crazy. So this whole time I'm still in the world, right? I'm still smoking, but I'm still looking for God. I'm waking up. I'm like, where's God? Where's God? Where's God? I went on a trip with my friends and I'm like, y'all, like, I'm really feeling like, I feel this calling, like I have to go away from y'all. Like I have to depart from you guys. And they're like, what's wrong with you? Like, I'm like, I don't know, but God is calling me higher and I'm really sorry. But like, I gotta go. And I was talking to a girl at the time and I even told her like, look, I don't know what's going on, but I gotta go. Like God is calling me somewhere and I don't know, but I just know and I have to, I'm going to respond and I'm gonna say yes. Like I don't know what's about to happen, but yes. And so
Kirsten, can you clarify, was this like instructions you were getting from the Lord or was this just like inner feelings or how did you know you needed to kind of separate?
So honestly, it was like a desire, like my heart was changing, my desires were changing. I knew that they weren't leading me to the Lord, right? So as I'm hanging out,
like this part makes me so happy, and I want to kind of elaborate on why it makes me so happy. And it's because the more that you go towards God, or at least for me, I can say that how she's going through what she's going through is kind of how it's basically been for me. The closer I've been trying to get to God and the wanting to be closer to him, the more that my body yearns to be away, in my mind, away from the things that are not of him and not from him, and like just fleeing from those things and running towards God. And it's amazing. It's beautiful. And her testimony is beautiful and an amazing, period. But this part of it so far has just, I guess it's because it resonates with me, because I did run from God for the longest time. I still believed in him, but I had ran from him, and the feelings that she was getting and I wasn't doing the things that she was doing. I was just like ignoring God, basically. things that she like started turning to, the people that needed to leave from her life, or that she needed to get away from the people and get away from the stuff that was going on and stuff like that. It's amazing how much that resonates with me, and I think I'm not the only one that this is going to resonate with. Whether you were a believer or you weren't a believer before watching this testimony, this is going to resonate with you, because your flesh and fleshly desires will yearn and continue to yearn for the fleshly things, like, as she was saying, like sex and drugs and doing other sinful things. That could even be like gluttony and lying and anything like that. Your flesh will continue to desire to do those things, but when the closer you get to God, the more the Spirit, it feels like it erupts in you and makes you so aware of the fleshly things and how bad they are, and how you would rather flee to God instead of fleeing towards God from the fleshly desires. So I kind of want to touch base on just a little bit of a section up here, and then I'll stop the video here, because I want you guys to listen to her full testimony yourselves. So,
good. Like, I took a step of faith, but I didn't know, like, looking back now, I'm like, that was my step of faith. Like, I was moving in faith, but I didn't know. I was just doing what the Lord told me. I get in my apartment. It became a sanctuary. Like, after I moved in, it became like the Holy Spirit resided there. I was worshiping literally all the time. I was just being cleaned up. He was just loving on me until I was falling in love with him. And I was falling in love with him. My desires started to change. It wasn't like he was being rough about it. It was like he was loving me to the point where he was like, just let me love you to be clean. Like, let me teach you how to be holy. Let me teach you how to be pure. And so I desired those things. But I was always like, Lord, like, I know this is not right at this point, because I'm reading the Bible more. I know homosexuality is not right. I'm like, okay, this is not biblical. But Lord, why do I still feel this way? Why do I still have those desires? Why is that still like lodged in me? Like, you're cleaning me up. You're healing me from so many things. I don't smoke anymore. I don't drink anymore. I have a disciplined lifestyle. I fast, because he's like, I'm looking in the Bible and I'm reading, oh, I got to fast. Okay. Like, I want to like humble myself before the Lord, because I love him. I'm falling in love with him so much. As I'm being clean, I asked the Lord, what about this? Like, I'm giving you everything. You can touch everything. You can see everything. You can have whatever you want. Like, I give it to you. You can see it. You can touch it, change it, whatever. And he's like, we're not there yet. We're not to that point yet, right? And I'm just like, okay. I'm just letting him do his thing. I'm sitting in the presence of the Lord. I'm getting what I need, my daily bread, everything like this. But it's like, I wasn't in church yet. I didn't have anybody around me telling me what to do. And I read the Bible.
So I just want to say that the Lord wants you to come to him as you are. And he, as you start drawing nearer to him and closer to him, he will work with you. He will work with your mind and your body and your spirit, and to be able to deal with the fleshly things that you've been dealing with, to deal with them in a way that you become more holy and I hate to say it that way, but literally more holy and able to fight the flesh. And fight the flesh, well, like it's literally life or death, because it is. And it's amazing. Like, no one's journey is exactly the same and will be parallel to one another. They may cross sometime. You may be in a spiritual journey of denying the flesh, and you come across somebody that God puts into your life, that kind of thing. But literally nobody's salvation journey and journey after salvation and battling the flesh is ever going to look the same, because for some people the battles are short and then from then on they go from there, and for some other people the battles take years, months, half a lifetime, how do we learn to continue to deny the flesh and deny those things if God just up and takes them away? How do we continue to deny any new fleshly sins that are trying to come into our life, anything that demonic that is trying to come in to attach to us, like anxiety or depression, or struggling with sexual things or your sexuality and that kind of thing? How do we learn to fight those things from coming in if God just immediately takes everything away? Which, obviously, I'm not saying I don't think that God would or wouldn't or whatever, because I know God can and God will at times. But there's times I feel like God doesn't take them away immediately when we ask them to. It's because we need to learn how to fight the flesh and continue to fight the flesh, and to lean on Him and lean on His Word and use His Word to fight the flesh and the fleshly desires. I hope that made sense. But I am excited to be doing testimony videos just for this reason. I love listening to people's testimonies and seeing how God has worked in their lives, and to be able to, for me, silently celebrate with these people and to praise God for the great that He's done. And He's done a lot of great things for this woman here, and just, we need more of this in the world and less of the evil that's going on, and seeing the evil. And I hope that this testimony or any of the other testimonies that I post in the future kind of gives you a new outlook and a new thought about things that are going on in other people's lives, and that it just also gives you just that little spark of interest or wondering or questioning, if you're especially if you're a non-believer or you're a believer that has went lukewarm, that it sparks that interest back again for you, and that you want to get closer to God, that you want to be in His presence and flee from the flesh and run to Him. I pray in the name of Jesus that happens to at least one person that sees this video. If it happens to more, praise be to God. Praise be to God. And I thank you guys for watching and listening to this testimony. There will be a link down below, over here somewhere, down below in the description, to this testimony. I can't wait to hear your all's comments as well. So, thank you guys for watching. God bless you all. I pray that you continue to get great blessings from Him, and that He continues to guide you in this journey on this wonderful planet Earth. Have a great one.